Hello, everybody. Welcome to Eye Opener Society, and welcome to the Thursday night sermon, take two. I just got done recording, and for whatever reason, the audio failed me. And it's really funny because before we got on, I had a long conversation with Lizzie, who unfortunately cannot be here tonight. It's her daughter's birthday, and Lizzie messed up her foot, and she's got some problems where she can't walk around. So she's going to be away tonight. Not a big deal. We have somebody standing by who I'll introduce in a little while. I was going to talk about communication because I was speaking about this to Lizzie. And Lizzie, of course, inspired me to talk because I had ideas of talking about the third eye and all this other stuff. But communication, here's what we had decided. I had sat and said that human beings are probably the highest life form, so to speak, when it comes to communication. We have speech. We have tons of different languages. We can talk with our mouths. We can write things down. We could draw pictograms. And we have body language. We could sometimes talk without even saying a word. Sometimes just our eyes alone give away what we're saying. And it's pretty interesting that on such a high form of communication or communicators, it turns out we're the worst communicators. Now, we could blame one, social media these days. Everything's done by text. There's no real body language behind it. There's no context to it. There's no inflection in voice. You can't really tell. And people are resorting more and more to shorter form videos. So we don't want to hear things spelled out for us anymore. We want everything condensed real quick. It bothers me because I've always been big in communication. And so when we go online, when everything's supposed to work and it don't, well, that takes away too from the communication. And when we have a ministry like this and we want to communicate to everybody, and it's even harder when the stuff doesn't work, the technology doesn't work, but we still have a voice. I could still get it out there. I could still tape it. I could still put it up on platforms. In this case, I'm just doing a take two. That's all. It's just not live, but you're going to get the recording even still. And having said all of this, when we're trying to get this message out, my biggest message is to communicate to everyone on a much higher frequency because I'm trying to spread more good news rather than bad news. And having done so, I'll give you a little backstory. I had put up a small clip, these shorts, and I try to do it every day. YouTube is a weird place. I'm not going to lie. There's always someone there with a stupid comment. And I don't mind constructive criticism. I don't mind feedback or comments. But when you're just personally attacking somebody, I made a short that basically said one of the greatest things you can carry around with you all the time is a smile because you could pull it out anytime. It will change the way you feel almost instantly. It's just one of those things you should always have. That was it. Some female had then, and I don't mean to use female like, oh, it's some female, but it was a female and it's relevant to this, had made a comment. Oh, how profound a smile. Just don't go telling females to smile because they're liable to smack that smile right off your face and you'll never be able to smile again. And so I sat there completely shocked reading this. One, that was not my message. I wasn't saying guys should go up to girls and tell them to smile. I was saying you should be smiling yourself. But regardless, not a big deal. Now, amazingly, I brought this up to Lizzie, and Lizzie gave a whole nother perspective on it, but it was interpreted wrong. But everybody's stuck in this world now where because of other people's stupidity, pretty much everybody else suffers for it. And that's not really right. I would like to change that. We must understand that we must know our audience. We must know who we are talking to. But at that same time, should we be speaking to a stranger and a stranger's trying to get to know you? Do you want to put on a facade and tell them things that are not true about you? Do you want to speak to them in a way that you don't normally speak? I like to let things just flow, because if someone's trying to get to know me, they're going to get to know the real me. Now, if they don't like the real me, I'm 100% okay with that. But they don't need to attack me for being me as I wouldn't attack them for being them or for not liking me. These are things as human beings, we're as advanced as we so called say we are, especially with communication, we're still so miserable at it. There's a lot of ego involved in this. What I say goes, what I say is the truth. These are the problems with communication. All we need to do is speak and speak our mind, but we should be respected of that. And those of you who don't like what someone is saying, turn it off. Don't listen to it. Listen to it. Don't let it affect you. There's many ways around it. We can't attack another person just for what they are saying. So let's become much better communicators, as we so called are, as far as advanced communication. Because you know what? Lizzie, I brought up orcas, and I can tell you that dolphins and whales probably have a much higher communication than we do. And since she had brought it up, she's probably 100% right. We're probably going to be knocked down to that very bottom of the food chain when it comes to communicating if we're not doing things right. We need to start learning how to balance. This way we can talk, we can communicate, we vibe with those that vibe with us. And as for you that are listening, downloading, hearing us, all I'm trying to say is we are here for you. We love you. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything that you do for us. And that's all that matters. So now I'm going to turn over the microphones to Elaine. Many of you know her. I know if you've been listening, because I know she gets the more downloads than my show. Elaine has recently been ordained by Eye Opener Society as a minister. She decided to join us on this Thursday night sermon. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, but she stuck around. So now we could do the recorded version. And I'm very glad, because I'm dying to hear what she has to say. And it's really nice to have her on. So I'm turning the microphone over now to Elaine from Arcane Oracle. Elaine, take it away.
Thank you so much, Gary. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for your patience with the technology struggles we were experiencing earlier. Really appreciate you, and that was a great talk, and I'm sure you would agree that the best path to spiritual enlightenment is arguing with strangers on the internet. I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding. But anyway, I really love your message there that communication, it's so important, so underutilized. We can always improve how we communicate, how productive our communication is. And maybe you can help me remember, I believe there was a Buddhist maxim that let your words pass through 4 gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it helpful? Is it necessary? Oftentimes, I mean, I'm a Gemini. I have a lot of thoughts going on at all times spinning around in my head. I have a lot of chatter I could throw out there, but you know, if I really try to focus on those 4 gates, I find that I oftentimes don't have a whole lot to say. I don't know if that's true for other people, but anyway, so on that note of communication, if you check out my podcast for the month of June, as I'm sure many of you will, there are a lot of different astrological events going on, transits to Mercury, as well as the full moon in Sagittarius and the new moon in Gemini. These are powerful opportunities to adjust, refine, and change our communications, the nature of our communications, the quality of our communications, and our communication style. Sagittarius, the full moons, they illuminate and light up things in our subjects in our lives. Sagittarius, you know, it's about adventure and free spirited experience and all of that. But Sagittarius is also about messaging. It's about education, higher education primarily, and publication. So, a podcast could be seen through the sign and perspective of Sagittarius as well as the ninth house. So the full moon at the end of May and first day of June, June 1st, it's a great time to focus on messaging as a key focus. And then on June 15th, there's the Gemini new moon. Gemini is the sign of communication. So that's a wonderful time to hit the reset button on communication as well as messaging. But anyway, you learn all about that in this month's Arcane Oracle astrology podcast. Forgive me, I can't talk. Anyway, I'd prepared a little chat on spiritual practice, basics of beginning one's own spiritual practice. And spiritual practices are intentional routine activities and rituals designed to cultivate inner growth, to connect with the divine, and to foster deeper awareness of the sacred in one's daily life. And these practices can be solitary or communal. A good spiritual practice strives to transform oneself, to cultivate the inner self, and to transform the heart, align personal values, and foster spiritual development. Why should you start your own spiritual practice? My answer would be for the endless benefit, and they really are endless. Benefits include increased intuition and better inner guidance or psychic abilities, connection to divinity. Arliss has decided to podcast bomb. Forgive me. But anyway, connection to divinity, spirit guides, and the spirit realm, self-development and cultivation of one's character, increased personal vibration and psychic energy or personal attunement, improved mental and emotional health, metacognition, resiliency, and awareness. For inner peace, serenity, and stress management, those are key benefits of a daily spiritual practice, or at least a regular spiritual practice. And also endless add-on benefits as you develop and expand on your own unique spiritual practice. And it should be unique to each person. So where should you start? The first steps are grounding and centering your own spiritual energy. It's best to begin any spiritual practice with a basic grounding ritual. There's endless methods for grounding, of course, and the best grounding method is whatever method feels most effective for you. In the process of grounding, you should begin to feel the essence of your own spiritual energy, your chi or your soul, if you will. After you feel sufficiently grounded, you can start the centering process, and you begin by breathing into it and feeling its flow. The idea is to attune yourself with it and begin to feel it like a muscle. Then concentrate on drawing in your energy into your chest or heart center. Second step is consecration, and this involves sacred intent, sacred space, and one's personal altar. Consecration is a solemn act of setting someone or something apart for a sacred divine purpose. This practice is also known as dedication, ordination, blessing, or hallowing. If possible, choose a private and peaceful spot in your dwelling to dedicate as a sacred space. You can do this with simple sacred intention, but you can also use a ritual that calls to you to set your sacred space. Setting up your own spiritual altar can also empower your individual Setting up your own spiritual altar can also empower your individual spiritual practice. This can also help establish routine and consistency with your spiritual practice. Third step is spiritual connection. Connecting to divinity, your spirit guides, your angels, or your ancestors, whoever you connect with on your spirit team. Everyone has a spirit team of guides, ancestors, angels, and so on. Spirit teams are as unique as the individual people that they guide. By engaging in regular spiritual practice, you can connect with your spirit team better, and in turn, you can receive clearer guidance from your guides along your journey of spiritual development. Fourth step is meditation, prayer, and personal spiritual rituals. The key here is to choose whatever method most calls to you and whatever you can consistently follow. This is how you make your spiritual practice unique and, most importantly, make it routine. And the fifth step, consider spiritual journaling. It's not a requirement, but journaling can be a powerful tool for discovering sacred insights and intuitions, for shadow work and self development, for manifestation and magic, and for charting your own spiritual growth. The possibilities really are endless, and you should consider incorporating journaling into your spiritual practice. Starting your own spiritual practice is a transformative process that begins with small, deliberate steps. By incorporating simple but intentional rituals like grounding and centering, consecration, and regular rituals of spiritual connection, you open the door to a life of deeper awareness, inner peace, spirit guided wisdom, and profound personal growth. You can find your own path and embrace it as it calls you. Your unique spiritual awakening is waiting. All right, Gary, thank you for giving me the space for that piece.
You're very welcome, Elaine. And Elaine, thank you so very much. That was really, really good because we haven't even gotten that far into spiritual practice and all that. So I really love having you, explain your little details on it. It really came out good. I like that and I enjoy it. And I actually so very glad we got the situation set with the electronics here. So we actually were able to give something. So for everybody listening, again, we thank you so very much. Tune in every Thursday for our sermon, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Rain, shine, electronic mess ups, software mess ups. We'll still do everything we possibly can to get out and broadcast our messages to you. Don't forget our regular episodes every Monday, and this coming Monday, June 1st. I have Elaine's episode dropping in place of mine because I'll be in Cynthiana, Kentucky for the next from Friday till about Thursday, Wednesday actually, and I will be doing my very first in-person meditation classes down at Appalachian Rootworks in Cynthiana, Kentucky. Please check them out, appalachianrootworks.com. I appreciate Carly and Carla for giving me that space and for the time to do this with them. So much appreciation to everybody that tunes in, and we will see everybody real soon. Thank you again.